So the kaleidoscopes, I eventually put them on. And if you caught me repeating myself, it's probably because I paused the video just a little bit ago, so sorry if I repeated myself. But I'm back. So I eventually put on the kaleidoscope looking things. And like I said, I saw a guy. And this guy was wearing a suit. And I'm looking at this guy, and I'm like, who is this? Like, the reason I was looking at him so much is because I felt like he was like an important person, like someone that stands out in a crowd, I guess you could say. And the reason I thought so was because there was all these people in front of him, and he was standing on something. I don't remember specifically what it was. And everybody was like looking at him, so it made me think he was like an important person. Like the way they looked at him is like maybe how somebody would look at Trump or something like that. And I did not know who this person was. All I knew was that it was some dude and he was wearing a suit. That's all I pretty much knew. I had no idea who this person was. And I'm just like, in my dream, I was trying to like kind of guess, like, who is this person? Is he the Antichrist? Like, who is he? Like, I'm trying to just guess at this point. Anyway, so this guy, I see behind him, there is this huge storm. Like, when I say huge storm, like, this would be considered the worst storm Earth has ever had. Like, it was this huge tornado in my dream. Like, this tornado was huge and massive. Like, you know how they show tornadoes in movies, like kid movies, and they're, like, super, super big? And yes, I know there is some bad tornadoes, but they're oftentimes not that big. That's how it was in my dream. They were huge. Like, this tornado was huge. Well, this guy starts going on, and he's like, he's like, y'all better listen to me. He was like, follow me, follow me, follow me. And all the people start following him. And he takes them to this building that has enough room for everybody. And they'll be able to survive the storm. And everybody in the town's like, you saved us. Like, hallelujah. And which, in my dream, made me think of him as the Antichrist more. But I still was not sure if he was the Antichrist. And they're in this building. And they're like, what now? If we leave, we'll be taken over by the storm, which was this huge tornado. And he starts telling them, and at this point they had come to like really trust this dude, even though I still had no idea who this dude was. And he was like, if you burn down, he started telling them, he was like, if you burn down all of the national monuments, like when I say national monuments, I mean like the Statue of Liberty, etc. And he was like, if you burn these all down, the storm will end. And it was like pretty quick, but I was basically like told, I guess. Well, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. I gotta tell you this part of the dream first before I tell you that part. So, it was like 5 seconds. I was shown a bunch of stuff. And this person I know took the kaleidoscope off of me. And I was like, why did you show me all that so quickly? And she said, she was like, in the future, we have something called like fast learning, she said. And it's illegal because some people have side effects after using it. But it allows you to learn or see things like extremely fast. And in the dream, I had told her, I was like, I started getting a headache or something like that. And she was like, that's normal, it should wear off in a little bit. So I just want to tell y'all what I saw. So basically what I saw is that God, okay, so you know the devil cannot do anything without God's permission. We all know this. And in my dream, God basically told the devil that if he could convince everybody to burn down all the national landmarks, like for example, the Statue of Liberty, etc. And I even saw in my dream somebody was burning the American flag. Like that's how much this person that I still don't know who it is convinced them that burning down all of the national landmarks would stop this crazy storm. And come to find out, this storm that was going on was actually God returning. And everybody just believed it to be this crazy storm because of that guy. That's what he told them. And like people in my dream, like, you didn't fact check this. I'm like, you're not gonna fact check this guy's actually telling the truth. And God had made a deal with the devil that if he could convince everybody to burn down all the national landmarks, that he would stop the storm and he would leave. And this, in my dream, it was supposed to be like him coming for the first time to get the people that listened and obeyed God. And the people that didn't and fell for whoever this guy was, I don't know who this guy was was, of course, left behind. Left behind. And in my dream, God, I really feel like it was God's voice. He said, he was like, one of the final signs of my return is that the Statue of Liberty will be on fire. That's exactly what I heard in my dream. He said one of the signs of me finally returning is that the Statue of Liberty will be on fire. Yeah, in my dream, that's what God told me. He said one of the final signs will be that the Statue of Liberty will be on fire. And like I said, pray about this dream. Now, there was more to the dream, but I don't really want to tell the rest because it was more about me and personal stuff. I just wanted to tell you all the stuff that was about the end days and pray about it because the devil will try to even mess with our dreams. So definitely pray about this. I need to pray about it. So I really encourage you to pray about it. But that's what I was told, is that one of the final signs of God returns is that the Statue of Liberty will be on fire. That is what God told me. And then a couple days later, it was 2 or 3 days later, I had another dream that wasn't as long as that one. This one was actually one of the shortest out of the 3 I had. And I had a dream that there's a different person that I know was there. And I was at my house and I had fainted. Yeah, I had fainted. And I woke up in a hospital. In this dream, I woke up at a hospital. And this person I know was there. And I was like, what's going on? And she told me, she was like, it's the year 2030. Yeah, she told me it was 2030. She said that's what year it was. And I was like, what's going on? And she started telling me all the stuff that happened in the past years. And she's like, you don't remember any of this? And I kept telling her, no, I don't remember any of this. And in my dream, I had walked over to a window that was in my hospital room, and I looked outside, and I saw, it looked as if a big atomic bomb had went off. And I was like, Maddie, where are we? If you don't know, I guess I can tell you this person, but the person in this dream was my sister Maddie. I don't think she'll really care if I tell y'all that. But in the first dream, I told y'all it was somebody else. But in the second dream, it was my sister Maddie. But I don't think she would care if I told y'all that. But anyway, like I said, continue. I know I like to repeat myself a lot, but it just helps me know, to remind myself that I'm telling y'all the facts, if that makes any sense. But let's continue. So like I said, I walked over to that window and looked outside, and it was like an atomic bomb went off. There was no grass, and there was just a deep hole. And I was like, Maddie, what happened? I want her to tell me exactly what happened. And she was like, you don't remember anything? And I'm like, no, I don't remember. And she was like, well, it's 2030. And she was like, you don't remember the big war. And I'm like, I do not remember the big war. I'm like, you're going to have to enlighten me some more. And it kind of made me mad because in a dream it felt like she was talking almost in riddles. Just give me tiny, tiny bits at a time until you make a whole picture, And I'm looking outside and it's just awful looking. And in my dream, she told me that we had to drive 30 minutes out of the town I currently live in because due to this big, big war, all the hospitals were just destroyed. And she said they had only recently started rebuilding hospitals, and the closest one to us was 30 minutes out of town. And I just thought that was insane she said that. That was pretty much the whole dream. I started waking up, and in that dream, well, okay, I'm going to tell you this. After she had said that they only recently started building the hospitals, and that the closest one to us was 30 minutes out of town, she started telling me, because it was in my dream, it was weird, it was everything started getting fuzzy. And my sister in the dream started telling me, she was like, don't wake up, I have more to tell you, don't wake up, I have more to tell you. But of course I woke up. But I just thought that dream was crazy, and I felt like that dream, she had more to say, but I didn't have enough time. I just woke up before she could tell me all that. And now for the dream I had last night. This dream, like I said, I wasn't even sure I was going to share this dream. It made me so emotional. I was literally crying all morning. I woke up shaking. This dream, it felt like I was actually there. And to know what it feels like to be actually there. If you ever had a dream where it feels like you're actually there, you understand what I'm talking about. I just pause for a moment to, catch my thoughts and breath, But let's get into dream number 3. Another warning. If you have nightmares easy or anything like that, I would recommend leaving and not hearing the rest of this video. So in this dream felt so real. Like, I wish sometimes that all of y'all could feel what it was like to be there. It was just insane. So the dream started out, I was in heaven. Yeah, I was in heaven with God. And the best way to describe it, it was as if I was like a little kid again. I wasn't a little kid, but it was like as if I was just having so much fun that I felt like I was a little kid again. If that makes any sense. It was just like that's the best way to explain it. It's like I was just having so much fun in heaven, and in my dream I was playing with God. Like, if I remember correctly, because I do remember how the dream last night, of course I remember, but in the dream I believe it was like a basketball, and me and God were just playing with it. We were just like if I normally like played with somebody else, like we just are like playing catch and stuff, and it was just like, I remember in my dream there was another like younger kid, like maybe 7, 8, next to us, and he was playing it with us. It was like I was like a younger looking kid, maybe 7, 8, and he was playing it he was playing with us. And I just really want to stress to this point, because everybody remembers what it was like when we were kids. Like, I can't explain it, but the Bible tells us that it basically explains when we're a little kid, Yahweh will protect us. And feeling like a child again in heaven, and I was just hanging out with Yahweh, we were playing catch or something like that, and it was just like the best feeling ever. Like, nothing makes me happier. Like, I just don't know how to explain that feeling until you feel it. Well, anyway, me and him are playing, and I'm just like happy, like what could go wrong? Well, me and God, I'm following him, and we end up getting on, it was kind of like a hoverboard, but if like a hoverboard was like a big square piece of land, if that makes any sense, because it was bigger than a hoverboard, but that's basically what it was. So me and God get on this hoverboard, and we start going somewhere, and I want to ask God where we're going, but I don't ask him, because I'm like, if I ask him, that might sound like I don't trust him. So I just follow him, and I let him take me wherever we're going. Because like, I didn't want to ask him, because I was like, if I ask him where we're going, that would make God think I don't trust him. So we're going, and eventually we end up in this dark room. Like, this room was pitch black. Like, if you ever had blackout curtains, it was like that all over. Like, I couldn't see anything. Like, I couldn't even see stars. And we're in this room, and in my dream, I would like to mention, me and God were glowing bright. Like, we were glowing. I guess like you say, like a light bulb would. We were glowing bright. And we're in this place, and sorry, just getting emotional. Just getting emotional. Oh, sorry, just getting emotional, because what happens next really got to me. And basically, we were in hell. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. We were literally in hell, and we're like floating around, and then we stop in this one area, and underneath me was all these people. Like, like the best way to explain, I was floating above them, and we're floating above them, and God's right next to me, and I see all these people in hell, Sorry, getting emotional. Like, literally, I was crying about this, like, all morning. And I see all these people in hell. And you know how ants can make ladders out of their bodies? Like, I know it's kind of a weird explanation, but ants do that. Sometimes they'll make ladders out of their bodies. Well, in my dream, the people were trying to do the same thing. The people that were in hell were trying to do the same thing. And they were doing it because, like I said, we were floating above them. And they were doing it to try to reach God. And all these people in hell believed if they just touched God, they would be saved. They just thought if they touched God, they would be saved. They would be saved. And we were... I'm sorry, it makes me so sad to talk about this. We were on this hoverboard, and these people started trying to get on this hoverboard with us just so they could touch God. Like I said, they truly believed if they could just touch God, they would be saved. They'd be healed. And one of the people eventually climbed on our hoverboard thing, and he's on me, he's touching me. He was trying to get to God, but he ended up touching me. And God's right there, and he grabs this person that's in hell and throws them back in hell. And I'm like kind of confused, like, God, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you just like let him touch you? And after he had thrown this guy, God didn't speak. Like, God did not speak. After he had thrown this guy in hell, I just want to mention this. After he had thrown this guy in hell, it's just sad. This guy started saying, he was like, God touched me, God touched me. Like, the way he said this in my dream was like, if God touching him was like, hallelujah. He was like, God touched me. And the other people that were in hell saw this, and they were like, God touched him, why didn't he get saved? They were like, I guess what they say, it was confused. They were like, God touched him, why didn't he get saved? Why didn't he get saved? And in my dream, this other person that was in hell started like cussing at me and saying a bunch of bad words. Yeah, started saying a bunch of bad words. And they realized, they looked at me and they were like, she's undecided. And what they meant by saying undecided was that it wasn't for sure I was going to heaven, it wasn't for sure I was going to hell. And they started calling me in the dream, they started saying I was lukewarm. They started saying I was lukewarm. And in the dream, it was so sad. I was looking at these people and they kept wanting to like touch me and stuff, like thinking I had the power to save them. And while I was there, I had to tell them. I told them, I was like, I cannot save you. And as I was telling them, I was like, I cannot save you. I'm like, I'm sorry, I cannot save you. And this is what they told me. While I was there, all of these people, they said, this is what they told me. They were like, you can save us by making it to heaven yourself. And then, because they kept telling me that I was lukewarm. And there's a big deal around this. So you know the previous dream I told you with the, where I saw and Yahweh told me that the New York statue would be the first sign. The New York statue burning on fire would be the first sign of his return. Well, in that dream I forgot to mention, but I was also told by that person who was a lot older that, I was told that, she kept mentioning that I was like lukewarm, like a leaf. Like, you know when it gets windy and a leaf shakes, sometimes they lose leaf, part of their leaf. She kept telling me that I was like a leaf, like one day I believe and one day I don't. And then I had this dream and they kept telling me I was lukewarm, which in the dream, they were trying to just tell me that like it's not for sure I'm in heaven or not for sure I'm in hell. Like it's undecided. And when they all told me that I could, they were like, the best thing for you to do is to make it into all these people that didn't make it to heaven. Like, you gotta think about this. Like, think, they were so far lost, so far gone, that even God couldn't save them. They had made their choice. And it was just so sad. Like, I cannot express how sad it was. Like, this is the best way to explain, I guess. Like, you know when you watch a sad movie, you're like bawling your eyes out because the movie's so sad, right? But the second the movie's over, eventually your emotions calm down, and you're like, it wasn't as sad as I thought it was. But the second you go watch it again, it's still as sad as you remember. And I'm like, that's really how it feels about hell. Like, right now I am sad, and it did feel awful. And I never want to be in that place ever. But I do know over time, as a human, I like to try to convince myself it wasn't as bad as I thought. But the truth was, it was as bad as I thought. And it still is. It's even worse than I thought. You know, that's shocking to say. It's even worse than I thought. And it was so sad as I kept having to tell these people that I couldn't save them. And all they really said, like I said, there was a lot more, like, there was people cussing at me, but what they said you could save us by making it to heaven yourself. They didn't want anything else. All they asked is if I could make it to heaven myself. They didn't ask for them to make it to heaven. They just asked if I could make it to heaven myself. And all night last night, I kept hearing the sounds of hell. Like, I'm not making this up. Like, every time I went to sleep, I heard the sounds of hell all night. And what did I get from that dream? Well, from the last dream, I really felt God was telling me that, like a warning, like, wake up, like, this isn't a joke, this is real. Because if I ever had to say a dream was real, that one felt so freaking real. And if that's what hell is really, really like, I'm scared. I'm sorry, I'm scared. I'm scared. And I'm so grateful that Yahweh saved us from that. And we all need to get straight with God. Like, maybe there's just one big warning for you to get straight with God. I don't know. But pray about these dreams. Like, if I ever had to say a dream was real, it was that last one I told y'all. Like I said, pray about these. That's pretty much the whole last dream. But yeah, literally, last night, I heard, like, every time I went to sleep, I heard hell. And I really just felt God was getting his point across. And especially for me, like, I felt he was telling me, like, don't be lukewarm. Because I don't mean to. I don't purposely do this. But I have noticed that, like, one day I'll believe, and then the next day I'll find myself maybe doing something that's not exactly, goes with the Bible. But I have noticed I try to justify it by saying, I was like, oh, like, this isn't, like, for example, let's say, zombies. This is just an example I'm using. But zombies are bad. And we all know zombies basically represent demons, right? Well, I like to play a game called Plant vs. Zombies. And I would tell myself, I was like, it's just Plant vs. Zombies. They're not even, like, the real thing. And it's not like, and I would justify it by telling myself, I'm like, it's not like I'm watching, there's a TV show, I can't think of the name, but I used to watch it a long time ago. I can't think of the name, but there's a popular TV show about zombies, and I quit watching that because I realized it was really, really wrong to watch that. But, in the example I'm trying to give, that TV show, I would justify it by saying, I'm not watching that TV show, and that TV show is like 1,000,000,000 times worse than Plant vs. Zombies. But yeah, I was still playing a game that had demonic type creatures in it. And I try to justify it by saying things like that, which now I realize is wrong. I realize that if something's wrong, you're not supposed to even do, like, if it's in it, just don't do it. Like, even if it's a kiddie version, even if it's something that doesn't even look like that, but they're still calling it that, don't do it. I just come to terms with that. And I'm like, the things, like I just think now, and I'm like, I was, like the best way to explain things, I look now, and I'm like, I was willing to give a God for that. And of course, we're all learning, and no matter how hard we try, we will never be perfect. We will never be perfect. I don't want this to discourage you. I want this to lift you up and just remind you, this is all real, and hell is real. Like, I can tell you, like, I've had many dreams about heaven and stuff, but this dream I had last night about hell has, like, I feel like opened my eyes, because sometimes it takes people actually being there and seeing it in order to believe. And I really feel like that's what God was doing with this dream. Like, I already believe, and I just feel like he wants me to believe stronger, because there's some things that I've yet to get rid of. And I pray, Yahweh, please forgive me. Amen. And I'm going to try to do better. And if you want to pray for me, that is perfectly okay. I pray that maybe you're struggling with your faith, that you do better too. We all need to do better. Amen. I think this is where I'm going to end the video. Thanks for watching. My name is Lauren, in case you don't know. I have many other videos on this channel, whether it's dreams or Bible verses I've uploaded. And I plan to start doing some more art-related stuff. Of course, it's going to be Bible-themed art stuff, because I just think that's so cool. But I plan to eventually start doing that. Currently, right now on this channel, I am doing a Bible diamond art. I haven't finished it yet. I uploaded a video when it arrived, but I have not finished it yet. I'm still working on it, but I do plan to make a video when I do finish it. But yeah, then I'm going to end the video now. Thanks for watching, I guess. Bye for now, and God bless you. Have a wonderful day.